Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing another discography overview, going through my CD collection for one of my favorite bands where I own every CD by them, where I'm going to go through chronologically. And today we are talking about one of my favorite all-time bands, Windir. So if you have not heard Windir before, they were around from the early 90s till about 2004 from Norway, from the Sogndal region. Man behind the band, it started out as a one-man band named Valfar. He tragically passed away in 2004 at the young age of 25, right at the peak of his career, right as Windir was starting to gain more mainstream success. And it's just so tragic because every album he released was just absolutely amazing. I can only wish and imagine what would have come afterwards. He died tragically of hypothermia in the winter in Norway, hiking to his family's cabin, and just got stranded out in the woods and didn't have a way to get back, which is a really tragic way to go. But he left behind an absolutely amazing musical legacy. Like I said, started out as a one-man project. Windir means warrior in ancient Norse language. First two albums he basically did all by himself, but did bring in like session drummer and some session musicians to do clean vocals. And then after those couple albums, he did recruit some of his friends who at the time were in the band Ulsis to come join him and create a full band. And so that was the full lineup for the last couple albums. After Valfar's passing, those remaining members did go on to form Vride, as well as some of them went on to be in Core Scorpy, among other bands. All projects definitely worth checking out. Windir was really one of the front runners in this very specific type of black metal, very melodic, very Viking-esque, with tons of folk influence as well. These folky melodies are so prominent throughout, and really no one else out there really knew how to incorporate those folky melodies quite like Valfar did. Even brings in some accordions, and just his melodic guitar playing, it really stands out. It's one of the best things about them. And so anyways, rambling on long enough, I'm going to go through all four albums chronologically, show you my CD collection of Windir. So let's start from the beginning. Did release a couple demos, which I do not have, but then the debut full-length Sogndal from 1997 is where he really started to leave his mark. Show you the back of the CD there as well, actual CD. And yeah, the booklet. Got a picture of Valfar on the back there. So yeah, like I said, basically one-man band here, but did bring in clean vocals by Steinarsson and session drums by Steingrim. And this whole album is just great. For a debut, like, yeah, maybe it's a little rougher around the edges than the later albums, but there's so much melody and you could just feel the potential here. There's even some like yeehaw moments, which are very different for black metal. Not exactly what you would be expecting in the vocal department, is some like cowboy-esque yeehawing, but Valfar's black metal rap is so aggressive and awesome. One of the best things about this. And yeah, these songs, there's so much melody in the guitar, and it's just folky, melodic black metal brilliance. Excellent way to start his career. Really doesn't get much better than this. Like, if I had to pick my favorite songs, this whole album is great, but I'd go with Rova Young and Lickbor as probably my two favorites. But yeah, absolutely amazing debut album. If I was going to score this out of 10, I'll easily give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is a pretty flawless discography, and it started off with a bang. After that, the sophomore album was from 1999, titled Arntor. So got that one right here. Show you the CD as well as the back. And yeah, this one, wow, just absolutely stepped up everything from the debut. Everything is dialed up. The songwriting got more mature and a lot better as well. There's catchier songs. There's even more melody infused here, and it adds a little bit of epicness to it as well. And this, I can honestly say, is an absolute masterpiece of black metal. One of my favorite albums of all time. Once again, brings in the clean vocals from Steinarsson and session drums from Steingrim. So basically the same lineup as on the debut. Valfar doing pretty much everything else. And some of these songs are some of my favorite black metal tracks of all time. Svartis Medenog Lundis Mer Trolle, come on. Long epic with the best, most melodic guitar line that just repeats throughout, and it will be sticking in your head. Even if you don't understand the lyrics, or you can still sing along with the clean singing part coming in. Svartes med, agludes med, trolle, and just the fucking hammering away at the crazy fast melodic guitar playing. And it's just great. Arntor ein Windir, another standout track, but really, once again, absolutely start to finish, no weak moments, killer album. This one I'm giving 10 out of 10 to, close to perfect album. I don't give too many 10 out of 10s, but Windir, Arntor definitely deserves one. And there might be another 10 out of 10 coming up right next as well. Spoiler alert, one of my favorite albums of all time, the third album from 2001 titled 1184. Absolutely love the album cover there. Got it on the CD there as well. Got the back there. So yeah, here, this is where he brought in the guys from Ulysses who went on to be in Bride to really fill out the lineup. And I think it actually really helped with the songwriting as well, and maybe took some pressure off of Valfar. They didn't have to do everything. Gave him a chance to focus more on the songwriting and his vocals, and let some of the other guys contribute as well with some guitar riffs. And this just, honestly, to me, I think this is their most epic album. Some of Valfar's best songwriting moments. It's so memorable. Even started incorporating in a few English songs, which, being not understanding the Norwegian language, I do love being able to sing along to a few of the tracks on this album. There's obviously still a handful of Norwegian songs as well. This did feature clean vocals by Cosmo Crater. He switched it up on this one, and I absolutely love Cosmo Crater's clean vocals here. And like I said, brought in the whole lineup of the guys that went on to be in Bride. You got Sture, Strom, Steingrim, Haval, and Rye. And front to back, absolutely amazing. This whole goddamn album, just a fucking masterpiece. Like I said, another 10 out of 10. It's hard to pick favorite songs here because I love every track to death, but Destroy, Spirit Lord, Dance of the Mortal Lust, and the closing track, Journey to the End. The last few minutes of it is like this dancey, almost techno section, which sounds out of place as I'm describing it, but go listen to the song and it is not out of place at all. It suits the closing of the album so perfectly. Just aggressive black metal that's sorrowful and melodic, and then to end with that, oh, perfect way to end the album. Like I said, another 10 out of 10. Absolutely one of my favorite albums of all time. Then that leads us to the fourth and final album, Lickford, from 2003. There's the awesome album art again. It's on the CD as well, and on the back you got that with all the songs. So once again, exact same lineup that was on 1184. I do really dig this album as well. I mean, they had a lot to live up to. Like I said, the previous two albums, I gave 10 out of 10 to each of those. I don't feel like this one's necessarily as good as the previous two albums, but it's very close. I don't want that to sound negative. I absolutely love this album. It's got a little bit of a darker tone compared to the last couple, but it's still got that epic Windir sound. It still maintains the overall spirit, and there's still so much melody. It's just went in a little bit of a different direction. That's why I wish we could have seen what would have come next. He was constantly evolving his sound, and this one is a perfect way to wrap up his career. Unfortunately, he did pass away a year after this was released, but you got great songs on here. My favorites would probably be Dowden and Martyrium. And yeah, just another absolutely classic black metal album. Gotta have all these in your collection. They're just amazing. I'll give this album 9.5 out of 10 as well. So when I'm saying I don't like it as much as the previous two, I'm just not giving it 10 out of 10. I'm still giving it 9.5 because it's still goddamn amazing. But yeah, awesome, awesome stuff. There is also a compilation that I don't own that was released shortly after Valfar passed away called Valfar ein Windir. It's probably worth grabbing or at least checking out. Like, the second disc on it is just like a greatest hits. That's kind of what's always like prevented me from buying it because I have all those songs anyway. The first disc has a couple new unreleased tracks, as well as like the Bride guys doing one of their old Ulysses songs re-recorded within the Windir spirit. And then it also features some cover songs, some of which are good, some not as good, but overall it's still a very interesting listen. It's a great tribute to Valfar. Maybe someday I'll pick it up. I just haven't got around to it yet, but yeah, definitely still go check it out. So anyways, these are just my thoughts on this glorious band. Like to show off little pieces of my CD collection here, and when I can talk about a band that I absolutely love and own every CD by, all the better. So anyways, you can probably look forward to another edition in this series next month where I'll talk about another band, going through their discography chronologically, showing off the CDs, and until then, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews out.